everybody. Welcome to the Death Battle Cast with that fun opening music. Love it. All right. Hey, I'm Ben, joined by Liam, Sam, and Josh, looking dapper. Holy shit, man.
Thank you.
Looking good.
Won't
Looking
pass
very
up a
much
chance.
like, exactly,
James
like
Bond.
the guy we're going to be talking about today, James Bond.
Josh just got back from the casting call for the next James Bond.
We'll see if I get it.
Yeah, it's him or Renee Jean Page. We're not sure yet.
Yeah. Everybody else is wearing a tux, so I feel like that's working against my favor. Like, this is all I had, so we'll see how it goes.
You know, every Bond has their own style, and it has to be unique in some way. So maybe this is the first Bond that doesn't wear a tux.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta have a British accent, though. How's your British accent? Did you nail that?
Ooh, no, it's not good. I figured I would just double down and stick with this one, and I just really, yeah.
It's like
changing it up.
Shakespeare. You're not supposed to do a British accent when you do Shakespeare. It's probably more accurate, right? Yeah. Huh?
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for what is bound to be I don't know what is about to happen.
I can't wait. I'm excited.
Fists are gonna fly, metaphorically, as we talk about all the James Bond movies as we lead up to our upcoming return of Death Battle. The next Death Battle is James Bond versus John Wick, coming out next week. Previews are already coming out. If you're watching this live on Tuesday, I believe the Bond one is already out for everybody. If you're watching this later on, when this airs for everybody later on in the week, both of them should be out. Checking out the chat, seeing a bunch of badges coming up from members. Love it. As we are ranking all these James Bond movies, if anybody in the chat has any opinions, we don't want to hear them. No, I'm just kidding. We absolutely want to hear them, because I have a feeling this has happened with every single tier list we've ever done on this show. We're going to have some disagreements that you guys are going to need to step in and clear up.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well as maybe some polls. In fact, I think we can get a poll up right away. First time ever, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember what we do on the show. Let's go ahead and get a poll up for who's the best Bond. Now, there have been 6 Bonds, right? 6 Bonds?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, YouTube only has 4 slots on the poll. So we're going to have to ask 2 of them right away. We're just going to say Lazenby and Dalton are not on the list.
Sorry.
Not for lack of not to say that we dislike them at all. In fact, Dalton is one of my favorite Bonds personally.
Yeah.
But just they have the least movies and potentially the least impact.
Yeah.
They're in Dalton's only in 2, right?
Yeah.
Lazenby's 1, Dalton's 2.
So
Dalton was
4
supposed
have,
to be in
sizable
GoldenEye
movies,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Dalton was supposed to be in GoldenEye?
Dalton was originally planned for GoldenEye, so Bond films
Brosnan was originally going to be in those early Dalton movies.
Yes.
Yeah. He was doing Magnum,
or
he was doing whatever, something instead.
Wild.
That show he was doing.
The Remington Steele.
Thank you.
Remington Steele.
I was
he was doing that instead.
I couldn't remember it.
Yeah. Which is why everybody was like, he's going to be perfect for Bond, because he was Remington Steele. So, Dalton was going to be in GoldenEye, but they had to delay it because there have been a lot of legal issues with Bond films, and we're going to kind of talk about that as we get into some of these. The Craig films in particular really suffered from some legal issues. One of the reasons why, despite him being in 5 films, I believe, he's had, I think, the longest tenure as Bond.
I think so.
I guess technically Connery might have a longer one because he kind of came back a couple times. But he
Craig
was Bond
has the longest
continuous streak.
Yeah.
For like 15 years
in terms
or
of
something like that. 16
time.
years.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it's kind of nuts.
They
Bond
slowed
is
down the
usually
movie
only
production recently.
A Bond for a decade at most, which is crazy. But anyway, so we are going to rank all the Bond films, the main ones, and plus the one that wants to be a main one. But we'll see. And we also have a sneak peek coming up later on in the show for James Bond versus John Wick. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring up this tier list, because we have a lot of movies to get
We're not
to.
doing the original Casino Royale from 1967, because that's just not a James Bond movie. It's not.
It's almost more of an Austin Powers movie.
Yeah,
than
it
a
is.
Bond
It
movie.
is.
Yeah.
It's
I've never seen that one.
It's really
I
bad.
haven't seen it either.
Yeah. Except for
I've
Orson
only
Welles,
seen
who's great.
clips, and there's some very strange stuff going on in that one. But
It's not
Let's
really a
not worry
clear
about it.
idea of what it is. Yeah.
yeah, So we will be keeping track of that poll of who is the best Bond throughout the show, and we'll go ahead. We'll get our opinions. Bond film ever made. Dr. No. Do we have that poll or that not the poll? That tier list? Can we bring that up? There it is. Okay. So we have just a refresher because it's been a little bit since we've done this. So the way this is going to work is we can only put 4 in the S tier, maximum of 4, because then we're going to vote on what is the GOAT between those 4. But otherwise, there's an A tier, B, C, D tier, and a trash tier. We'll see which ones go in trash. I don't think Dr. No goes in trash.
No.
I think it's not.
I think it's like a C. I think it's not amazing. I think it's kind of slow. It's a little boring, but you also have actual like detective work that Bond does, and it's an amazing introduction to Bond. And I just think it's a little vanilla, maybe. A little slow, a little vanilla, but
it's quaint compared to what the future ones are like.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like No's a fun villain.
No,
it is kind of ridiculous in a lot of ways, which is very Bond.
I don't think C tier is bad. I think C tier is mid.
I was going to suggest B. I was going to go right to B since it is the introduction
B as well.
Yeah,
I feel like that's like one of the first Connery ones, right? Is it the first?
Yeah, the very first one. This is where Connery established a lot of Connery and just everybody involved established a lot of what would become just Bond standard, which I think this is technically something that the other films can't be judged on because this is the first. But I think because it does so well at establishing Bond, and Connery does a phenomenal job, perfect casting.
Yeah,
I think it can be B. I think it belongs in B.
I wouldn't be against B.
Chad is saying D for Dr.
I know, I keep seeing that. It's pretty funny.
That's not true. It's not a D tier. It's
which is kind of funny.
Dr. No is way less racist than the book. The book is way more racist. So it's another point up. The book is like books are way more problematic in general than the movies are, which is impressive because the movies are dated.
There are some very problematic movies for sure.
That's like 60s, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This film, yes. The book was like 40s.
It was 50s.
50s. Okay. So one decade. A lot changes in a decade.
Yeah.
Especially the 60s, but also everybody racist in comparison.
Everybody agree with B. I was looking at some of the trivia for it. Apparently when the book was written, this is such a weird thing to talk about. Bikinis didn't exist. So Honey Rider is naked for half of the story.
I do remember reading that. Yes.
Which is just like crazy to think about.
Yep.
And then bikinis were invented and they made the movie and they're like, oh, we should probably just put at least a little bit of clothing on her. Also, her entrance is like straight out of a Betty Boop cartoon. It's ridiculous.
Her emerging from the waves.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And like
so
just singing
though.
What song was she singing? Mango Tree or whatever. Yeah.
That's like the unofficial like theme song for that movie.
Yeah.
Everyone
B.
sings it.
I think everybody's good with B.
I'd be down with B. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's put Dr. No at B. So Dr. No may have started the Bond series and established a lot of the trademarks of it. But From Russia with Love, I think, is the one that sort of like locked down what Bond is going to be moving forward.
Interesting.
I think Goldfinger is the one that really established the formula. But
Yeah.
Right.
From Russia with Love, I think is.
I think From Russia with
Dr.
Love
No, but better.
is it's better. I would also, but I still would put it in B. I don't think I'd put it in A, because I think like most of it, I don't find that super interesting until you get to the train, and the train is like fucking gold. But the gypsy camp, I'm not a big fan of. I like Harem Bay, like some of the action scenes are nice with the helicopter. It's a little like I saw a reviewer mention this. It's kind of Hitchcock light, like Diet Hitchcock is kind of what it feels like. Which I do agree with, but I think it's a lot. I think it is better than Dr. No.
Right? Hitchcock. I mean,
Yeah.
that kind of summarizes a lot of Bond movies, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it really does. That's a great description.
It's like, what if you made a Hitchcock film, but it really wasn't trying to say anything?
Yeah,
you got a Bond film.
Yeah, exactly.
go.
It's a little more caveman me smash than than
than
Hitchcock.
I mean, one of the fun things about ranking Bond films is we don't, outside of a couple of them, we don't really have to worry about the films trying to be like high cinema.
No,
most of these films,
no.
It's like
I think
Godzilla.
all of them, except for maybe two. It's like Godzilla. They're just like standard serials.
You're going to get what you want, right? There's a checklist,
Exactly.
right? I want like a hot British dude with hot women with cars and gadgets and an evil villain and a henchman with some sort of physical deformity that also makes them a deadlier killer and a travel log element. And it's like, you get those and you're good.
It's like your dad's like male fantasy. That's what this series is.
Precisely.
Precisely. Dad's male fantasy.
Like truly,
Yeah.
like guys like their age, their male fantasies, you know? Like that's
my grandpa loved James Bond movies and dragged my mom to like all of them.
There is like a bit of like James Bond's introduce gadgets and cool shit to like the common folk or just like the general populace, right? Like,
yeah,
I believe it's this Spy Who Loves Me. That was like one of the first, like, that's the one with the big jet ski scene, right?
No,
I think so.
No,
the big jet ski scene. I feel
that's
like
the underwater car
when he like gets away on a jet ski, and it was like one of the first commercially available jet skis. And then they did the same thing in Casino Royale. I remember seeing that movie because it was that was like the world premiere of the Aston Martin DB9 was that movie. Yeah. And like they had some of that shit throughout them, like the Toyota GT2000, I think. That was like a big part of one of their old Bonds, and it was like specifically a marketing ploy to get it as a Bond car to like throw aside this like, because this is like the 70s idea of, you know, a Japanese car not being as good as like an English car, but if it's good enough for Bond, it's good enough, you know, for everybody kind of thing. Yeah.
Isn't A View to Kill credited with like popularizing snowboarding?
Oh yeah,
there's that scene in the beginning.
Maybe
where he like inadvertently snowboards down that mountain. It's like pretty, pretty incredible.
Pretty much our point is 007 was like the first GQ, is what it was. Like if you watch a 007 movie, you're like, that's sick. I want to do that shit. Like
literally,
that's pretty much it.
Yeah. You know what? I think that's about right. Okay. So Promotion with Love, unless chat you guys want, otherwise I think B is appropriate.
Chat.
Yeah, I would say it's better than Dr. No, but I can see it still being, you know, it's still within the
I like
same
that it feels like a spy movie, right? Like most Bond movies are just not spy movies, just not even remotely. But this one actually kind of feels like a Cold War story. And the villain is like a chess master, and you get a little bit of Blofeld. It's nice. And it's technically a sequel because it's like we're going to get revenge on Bond for killing our agent Dr. No. It's neat. It's cool. I like it.
Well, for a spy, he sets off a lot of alarms and blows a lot of stuff up. Yeah,
he calls himself James Bond. It's actually mind-blowing.
Yeah, he has
no secret identity.
Insane.
He does take on secret identities sometimes.
Occasionally.
But not very often. All right, so let's go back to the tier list. We can put Promotion with Love in B. And then let's get to Goldfinger, which is largely sort of lauded as one of the best films.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think it's awesome. I think it's not, I personally wouldn't put it at S, but I wouldn't begrudge somebody for putting it at S. I think it's like, it's so stylish and cool. It really brings gadgets in a real way. It brings in the Aston Martin. Goldfinger is awesome.
The henchman.
Yeah, the henchman.
Like the ultra henchman with Oddjob.
Oddjob is awesome too.
There were henchmen before that, but like Oddjob established like the like iconic henchman.
He's so fucking sick when he like cuts the statue, right? Like,
he crushes the golf ball.
You're like, oh, this guy, like his hat's a weapon. What?
Bond kind of gets his ass kicked the whole movie. Like he's kind of like constantly on the back foot, but I don't mind it that much. And
also,
Goldfinger
has Bond girls. Their names are often double entendres, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one has pussy galore.
This one's a single entendre.
Ooh,
It's
yes. It's
Now,
really like
there's a funny
good.
story about it. They were worried that the name would be censored, right? They wouldn't be able to get it past the censors.
No shit.
And they were like, well, maybe we have to call her Kitty Galore instead. And I believe the story goes that they were like so adamant that they really wanted this. Hang on. That let me pull it up.
Why did they want it that
Okay,
bad?
Hamilton, the director of it,
Yeah.
was quoted in an interview as saying, if you were a 10-year-old boy and knew what the name meant, you weren't a 10-year-old boy, you were a dirty little bitch.
oh my,
what?
Quote, the director, the American censor was concerned. It doesn't end there. The American censor was concerned, but we got around that by inviting him and his wife out to dinner. And we told him that we were big supporters of the Republican Party.
Whoa.
And that convinced them to let them keep the name.
Oh, some espionage
Oh my
of their
God.
own.
Yeah, that is
Wow.
more spy-like than anything Bond does in that film.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do think though, like the naked gold girl and stuff, that's like it holds a special spot in a lot of people's hearts, and it is.
Yeah.
I will say, it is funny. Sean Connery's like lack of remorse or any humanity when the girl he's just slept with is
Nothing.
dead in bed. All of a
Right, yeah,
sudden, he's just like,
Not
she's
an iota.
dead. Like, yeah.
Well,
It's
one of the
like-
reasons why
very
Connery
good.
works so well as Bond is he's able to, more so than, in my opinion, almost any other of the actors except for maybe Craig, really balance that charm and cold-bloodedness.
Connery is a genuine. His character, his Bond is a genuine sociopath, which I think.
Yes.
I think
For sure.
ties into the books, and I think it's a more interesting characterization. Personally, having him actually be like a kind of soulless, like like not giving a shit about these people.
That, like I really like Goldfinger. I only have a couple S's to give out in the whole list, truthfully, and I would love to. Like a part of me wants to put Goldfinger in S because of how many of like the cool, like the classic things that this movie establishes. But watching, especially today, watching him like force himself on Pussy Galore is so hard to watch, and really like taints it for me. Like
it's the most like the Connery movies work on a scale of like the better the movie is overall, also the more problematic it is. As we'll get to You Only Live Twice.
Yes,
I'm glad you brought that up because
it's way worse. In
Connery's also
way worse
obviously
than you remember.
way worse. Yeah, got some fucked up stuff himself. There's a lot of fucked up shit in especially the older Bond films.
In the book, it's not even like kind of like in the movie, it's like somewhat it's still gross, but it's somewhat of its era. The book is like genuinely like repulsive.
You mean the movie?
The book is worse.
Oh, the book is worse.
The book is way worse with the implication of it's not great.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the movie is tame in comparison, I feel. Still not great. Still not good at all.
Tame, quote unquote. I mean, to a certain extent, Bond is not supposed to be like a good guy. Especially Connery's Bond. I think it gets sort of weirder with Roger Moore's because Roger Moore kind of presents himself as a nicer guy.
Yes.
But he does fucking creepy shit in some of them. And it just like, it doesn't mesh. I think it, as fucked up as it is, it meshes a little bit better with the Connery version.
Yes,
just because he is supposed to be a fucked up guy. So it's really hard to watch, but like, I get it.
If you think about it in like the point of like a spy is likely going to be like a callous piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because that is essentially the job they have to do. It kind of makes sense, but also I feel like we talked about this just before we started. Like for all of us, our generation of Bond was like Brosnan, and I feel like he has very little of that. Like
it was an intentional call out.
Yeah, he's like the nicest of all the Bonds. I mean, he says like silly catchphrases when he kills the villain, right? But like he's still like seems like the nicest, most caring of all of them.
Machine guns like hundreds of people, but
well, that's sick action hero shit.
Yeah, that's
though.
sick.
Like,
that's murder.
There's different.
And murder.
There is an interesting like we'll get to this movie in just a little bit, and we do need to move on. But there is an interesting comparison with Lazenby's Bond, where they actually humanized Bond for the first time, and then they went back to dehumanizing him, and then they completely tore him down with Dalton's Bond, and after that, they were like, okay, let's make him like lovable again. And Brosnan was the first step to that, and then Craig was the step into like really making him a vulnerable person.
Pretty, yeah.
So that there's this really interesting sort of like change in how Bond is just personally, like emotionally, throughout the years.
It's going to start with Live and Let Die. It's going to start with Live and Let Die, which is like where Bond movies stop being their own personality and start aping whatever's popular at the time. And that's for the Connery movies, it's all set. But we'll get to it. But
all right.
I would say A.
Let's rank this. Yeah. I'm okay with S.
I personally have a handful of movies that I would rather put at S.
Okay. I just don't really. Maybe like you, Josh. I don't really have a lot of S's in mind, but that might change as we go. Okay, let's go ahead and put it at A.
Yeah, we can move it to S.
If we don't have S's, we can maybe move it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's at least
mainly just because it established the formula, so much of the formula, and it does such a good job with it.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we move on, and we can kind of like speed through some of these until we get to Majesty's Secret Service, but I do want to talk about our one of our sponsors for this week's episode, Blue Chew. Guys, confidence can take you far in life. If you want to be as confident as James Bond in the bedroom when it's time to step up to the plate, that's where Blue Chew comes in. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night. It's simple. Just sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And it's all online, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and shipped directly to your door in a discreet package. You'll be excited to see the postman, because when your package arrives, your package has arrived. You get it? Okay. If you could benefit from the extra confidence when it's time to perform, Blue Chew can help. And we've got a special deal just for you. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code DBC at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code DBC to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. Thank you, Blue Chew, for sponsoring this podcast. Yet again, Blue Chew's been sponsoring us for a while now. We very much appreciate it. All right, so let's move on to
Bond
Thunderball.
Episode, though. Definitely a good one.
Yeah. Thunderball's really controversial, I feel. I liked it. I think it's like the first one in widescreen, and it looks fucking gorgeous. There's a lot of underwater shots that I think look gorgeous. I think it's a lot of fun. And it introduces the first like big kind of like nuclear threat, or I guess maybe
Thunderball is like the first step, the first one where they really amp up the visual spectacle of the movies, right? There's like an underwater fight. There's like an underwater army or something like that.
There's an underwater
sex
scene.
Exactly.
I think there's a little too much underwater stuff.
A little too much underwater. Yeah, and I think
it's a really good car chase, if I remember correctly, too. The car chase through the city.
I think the standout of that movie is the femme fatale. And Fiona Volpe. I think she steals the fucking movie. I think she's awesome. She's like the first big femme fatale, and she's just such a wicked, entertaining villain. And so much fun.
Lily Mandergan in the chat says Thunderball might be A. We got an A or B from LS17.
I would personally put it in A. I could see it B. I could see B. I personally would.
I think I would put it in B. I think some of the underwater stuff is a little too long and a little too confusing at times.
Yeah, that's the classic.
That's it. That's it. Basically.
Kind of lose track.
I think I have to agree with Josh. Let's go ahead and bring up the tier list again. I think it belongs in B as well. A lot of the Connery films are probably going to be a B, honestly.
Yeah, I think so.
I think with Thunderball, if I'm remembering correctly too, like the car chase is very good, and it was also done like wicked illegal, and they just did it in live traffic and just paid off people that were hit. Like it was just
my god, really?
Let's go. Yeah,
no way.
They're in some they're in not England. I want to say it's like Vietnam or something, and they just they didn't get permits or shit. They just did it in live traffic and then just paid off people that got hit in it.
It does have a scene with a health clinic, which is really dumb. It's like the worst assassination.
Let's go ahead and put it in B.
Ever.
Let's go ahead and put it in B, and let's move on, because we are already 25 minutes in, and we've only got 4 movies up there. So you only live twice. Let's get this one out of the way really quick. I think lower than that.
No, I think it's an S.
I like it better.
I think it's an S. You only live twice is S.
I think it's a. I think
Wait,
it's
maybe
a hard,
I'm getting this one mixed up with Diamonds Are Forever because Diamonds Are Forever is really boring, right?
This is the one. S is the one in Japan. I think that it hits the first. It's the first one to hit the travelogue element super hard. I believe it was an introduction in the West to like sumo in a big way. Like people didn't because the scene where they're showing it, they're like explaining what sumo is, like in a kind of like, look, Westerners, this is what this is. I think
it's
it's
the one
fun.
where they make Bond Japanese.
Yes.
God, it's so bad.
Otherwise,
you
I'd
get
like
the volcano,
just like
the volcano set. The volcano set.
Yeah. The volcano secret base.
The volcano secret base is awesome.
Yeah.
The Blofeld's awesome. Connery's a little.
Yeah, Blofeld's revealed in this one, right?
Yeah.
This is the first time we see him, or his face. He's been in the other in earlier ones, but we see his face in this one.
There's some really cool shots of him running across the roof. I think it's
cool gadgets. This one's a good one.
Yeah.
Cool gadgets. Oh, the helicopter, the little Nelly fight scene. Oh, that's great.
Are we comfortable putting it in S even with the racist shit going on?
I said this before the cast started. I think it's less racist because of how incompetent it is.
They do a really bad job with
it.
Don't
do much, really. It's
but it is really kind of bizarre.
It is cringy.
What they try to do.
It is really cringy.
I think I'm willing to put it in A.
Yeah, that's
okay.
where
We'll put it in A. We'll put it in A. I think it's a step. I think it's a step above. I think it's a step above. I like it more than Goldfinger personally. I think it's the same kind of movie as Goldfinger, where it establishes a lot of the tropes.
Well, Goldfinger's an A, so let's go ahead and put it in an A and move on to On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I just watched this one a little bit ago because Liam, we were talking about this. We were talking about this movie when we were doing the research call or a writing call or something like that. I mean, you said, or I remember watching it way back in the day and thinking it wasn't very good. Like I didn't like it, and you said it was one of your favorites.
It's my second favorite.
So, did you come around, Ben?
I sort of. I think the last half of it is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think the first half is boring as fuck.
I can see that. Yeah.
I think it is really boring. Everything involving Tracy is pretty good in the first half because Tracy's just a really interesting character.
Yeah. It's Diana Rigg.
Yeah,
like perfect Bond
but
girl.
Once he goes to the ski resort and everything that happens in the mountain, in Blofeld's mountain mansion base or whatever, is just long and boring. And Lazenby, I don't think is a very good Bond.
He's not. I think he had potential.
I think he could have been a very good Superman because he plays a weird like genealogist Clark Kent.
Yeah,
for like a third of the movie, and that's the best performance.
It's like it's a good performance because it's all dubbed. His voice is dubbed in that. Yeah, by a different actor.
I wondered. Yeah, it seemed like
okay. Well, then never mind. I didn't know that.
But I think he pulls it together at the very end, which is where it matters.
The last scene, he is very good.
The last scene is very good.
It's actually
the last scene is very good, except for one thing. Okay, so if for anybody who doesn't know about this movie, this is the movie where James Bond gets married, and spoilers for like a 50-year-old movie. Immediately after he's married, his wife is shot and killed by people that he was dealing with earlier in the film. His job basically gets her killed. So the point of the movie is that we have been leading up to this idea that like it is time to assassinate Blofeld, right? And this is going to be it. This is the one where he's going to kill him. And he gets to that point where they have a bobsled race fight, which is weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
And Blofeld gets hit in the head and is stuck on a branch. Lazenby gets up and says some quip off screen because like half the quips that he does in this movie are off screen. I don't think they actually recorded enough. Where he's like, "Oh, really branching out," and then he just walks off. He like doesn't check to see if Blofeld's dead. He just leaves, and then like literally 5 minutes later, Blofeld shows up in a neck brace and kills Tracy. And it's like, dude, your job didn't kill Tracy, your incompetence did. And I think it kind of like fucks up the message of the film because of that. But overall, I think as soon as Tracy shows up to the ski resort, like the film gets really good. And her and Bond together, despite Lazenby being a little bland, as Bond,
it's clear how much of a better actor Diana Rigg is than George Lazenby.
Them together really elevate the film. So what do you think? If it's one of your favorites, I imagine you're saying S.
I mean, I would personally say S, but I could see putting it in A. I mean, like there's like a ton of dumb stuff in it. I totally agree. I just feel like that's like the standard for every Bond movie. I feel like every Bond movie has like those moments that are like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like genuinely, what am I looking at with my eyeballs? I give it like an easy time on that. I could put it in A. I put it in an A.
I guess like with that in mind, in comparison, because this is a comparison to all other Bond films, I could see it put in S. Like the last part, the last half is S worthy.
Yeah.
In general.
It's one of my. I only have 2 S's. This is one of them. Like to me, it feels like the first one to give him like interesting personal stakes.
Yeah.
And that like really makes it for me. Like I really feel for Bond in that final scene in a way that I, don't for many of these.
Yeah.
So it's high up there.
The fight scenes I think are pretty good too. Like the hand fighting scenes, I actually think are weirdly good. Like it feels
There's
like
some
really kind of
bizarre
heavy.
sound effect choices.
Yeah.
There's some like
we were
really
in a
loud
weird
gunshot.
era.
It's like pre Indiana Jones gunshot punch, but like
Yeah.
fucking
gunshot
nuclear
punch
bombs
for sure. Yes.
It's crazy. But yeah, okay,
Blofeld
let's
is
go
also
ahead and
awesome.
put
Is
yeah,
awesome.
let's go ahead
Telly
and put
Savalas is-
this in S then. This is our first S. I don't think it'll contend with some of the other ones we're going to put in S, especially since I think a lot of the best elements of this were put into another film, which we will talk about. I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about.
We could just
But
put that one in. Go.
let's go ahead and get to Diamonds Are Forever. Let's do this one quick.
D for
Boring, right?
diamonds.
D for diamonds. All right.
Bad. It's the first of the Sleaze
Fine with
trilogy that I call it. It's like it's really,
Sleaze trilogy.
it's really gross. And Connery is funny. There's some it's actually kind of funny, but it's really just like it throws away all of the stakes from the previous movie, and it sucks.
Yeah.
It works as a comedy. It works almost as like a Bond parody.
All right. Diamonds Are Forever is in D. I really wish Connery had been in. Nothing against last movie, but I wish he had been in.
It would have been so interesting.
It would have been
like
great.
A Bond that cares about stuff.
All right, but that was Connery's last film, Wink. So let's go to Live and Let Die with Roger Moore.
Great
Roger
song.
Moore's first outing.
That's all I have to really say about it. Great song.
Yeah, great song.
Yeah, it's a good one. A
I
lot of the
would put it
Moore
in,
ones
like-
have great songs.
Yeah.
I'd put it in like B. I think there's like good stuff in it. It's the best of the. It feels very cheap. I think the villain is really cool. It's the first movie that establishes the like now Bond is just going to ape what's popular at the time. So it's a blaxploitation film, which kind of works for the source material, but it also is kind of. It just feels like I don't know if it feels kind of racist, but I can't quite pinpoint it. It's just sort of like. Yeah, that's some good, I mean, all the villains
It
are
feels
cool.
kind of racist.
It feels
Let's
kind of
put it in
racist.
B.
Well,
Yeah, I feel like if it feels kind of
standard, then they're
racist. I mean, I
all-
know a lot of these films kind of do, to be fair.
Yeah, that's
like,
kind of.
Yeah, they're
They
all.
go
We're,
over there.
we're almost out of that era. It's okay.
Yeah, we're getting there.
All right. You want to put it in B?
I would put it in B. I could see it in C.
It's also
I don't-
Moore's first
I don't
outing.
think
I
it's
think.
an
Oh wait,
He hasn't.
is the
he hasn't
fucking
quite
sheriff
gotten it
in
yet.
this one?
Yeah.
God damn it! It's
This is
D.
the first.
It's trash.
No, it's not.
It's
D.
trash.
It's not.
Everything
D.
with that guy's trash.
It's not D.
Fuck it.
We'll get to a D. A D is coming right up with Sheriff Pepper.
I
Sheriff
think
Pepper D is coming
Sheriff
right
Pepper is trash. Like I hate him. I hate that character so much.
up. I know.
All
I
right,
know.
fine.
He did it very briefly.
I will say, if everybody is okay with it, simply because of the inclusion of the stupid ass sheriff, it's a C.
I'll put it in C. I could see it putting it in C.
All right. Let's put Live and Let Die in C. Man with the Golden Gun. D. Fucking waste of Christopher Lee.
Dumb. Waste of Christopher
Like
Lee.
Christopher Lee could have been so good in this, and then he is kind of good in it. He just overshadows everything else in the movie.
Why is it? Why is his island base also a fun house?
Yeah, like a maze.
Why is there a laser, like a sky sun laser?
Has to be
subplot?
different.
Nick why is he there?
D.
Why is Bond such an asshole? Why does he beat up women and push that kid into the river? It's so weird.
I don't remember that.
Why did they do the like? They did it a genuinely mind-boggling, incredible like car stunt in it, where he does like the car flip in midair. That they fucking ruin it with this stupid ass slide whistle. It's like,
this is the one with the car stunt.
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Oh, the sheriff's in
Pepper.
trash. This one's fucking trash.
How many are we putting in trash? How many are we putting
However
in
many
trash?
we can.
However
This one goes in
many
trash.
fit.
I could almost
boy.
put diamonds in trash as well. Maybe D.
You know
'cause
what?
it's funnier.
Let's put diamonds in trash and let's put this in D, just because Christopher Lee is in it, and Christopher Lee
saves it
is
from the
great
trash.
regardless in this.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's fun to watch him.
He has a
And
third
like
nipple.
him being like the anti-Bond is a neat idea, even if it doesn't
Even
pay
if
off
he's
at all.
he's like lame.
Yeah,
not even
but
good
whatever.
at his job.
All right,
Yeah.
so let's do one more, and then we can get to the sneak peek. Let's do let's try to wrap up Roger Moore before we get to the sneak peek.
Spy Who Loved Me. I'm just gonna say it. I think it's another S. I think it's like a perfect Bond movie. I think it has Jaws. It's got the cool underwater base. It's got the underwater car.
Yeah, it's got the awesome. Fucking submarine Lotus Esprit. Yeah. That shit is one of the most iconic Bond cars. It's so fucking cool. Yeah,
it's very cool.
The Spy Who Loved Me is sick as hell. I think Jaws especially.
So cool.
Like, such a goon icon. Like, if you think of top 10 goons, Jaws is in top 10 goons, great. Right? Yeah. Like, 100%. So,
all right,
I think it's definitely like A or S. It's up there. It's high.
We can put it as
I like this one.
It has my favorite.
What do you think, chat? What do you think?
I think A
chat?
also works.
I think it's A for
it has
the
my
car
favorite theme
alone.
song. It has my favorite theme song.
Spy Love Me is if I remember correctly, strong.
I just really dislike. I like this movie a lot. I dislike that final scene very much. It feels like when Triple X decides to not kill Bond.
Oh,
it just feels like such a betrayal. It's just the trope.
I get that.
Oh, right. This is the one. Okay, I was getting this one mixed up with Octopussy, and I was like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?" This is the one with the lady spy who's gonna kill him at the end. Like she keeps saying that she's gonna kill him. Yeah, this one's S. This one can be S. This is like the only Moore movie that I kind of like, honestly.
It's the best awesome. I think of his.
Yeah, it's easily the best.
I just remember being like 13 when I first saw it, and like the fucking cool like 80s wedge-shaped supercar, and then it's a fucking submarine too. Are you shitting me?
Awesome scene.
So
Spy Kids, of course, owes a lot to this movie, I think.
Yes,
because of
absolutely.
That. All right, Moonraker.
D.
Dumb.
It has a cool opening sequence with the parachuting. And it has a cool ending with the space. People make fun of the space station. That's like the only good part of the fucking movie. It's so fucking boring for the rest of it. Like the stuff in Venice, like I don't even remember it.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of people make fun of this movie because of the space stuff. I think the space stuff is really fun.
It's good. It's good.
It's goofy and silly, but like that's what the movie's trying to be.
It's campy.
But yeah, you're right. It's kind of boring up until that point.
I
wish it was more fun.
I know for a fact I tried to watch Moonraker once and I fell asleep. So
for
me,
it should be more fun for sure.
Yeah, it should be way more
low.
Falling asleep is a D at least. So let's go ahead and put it at D. So let's bring up that tier list. We're almost done with more. Put Moonraker at D. For Your Eyes Only.
Maybe
I don't even know which one this is.
Yeah, these get hazy for me.
Exactly.
Like, I remember A View to a Kill. That's like kind of it.
Maybe a hot take. I think For Your Eyes Only is trash. Some people really like it. I think it's super boring. It's Bond at the Winter Olympics. It's like it has the worst. It has the worst fucking villain. He's so lame. It has this revenge plot where Bond is like, no, you shouldn't take revenge. And it's like, wait, why would Bond be against revenge? Like what? Who
is he taking revenge on? What's the villain's plan?
It's the one woman with the crossbow where she's like, I'm gonna take revenge on this guy for killing my dad, and he's like, no, you shouldn't do that. It's a dark path. And then it's like, why would Bond be against whatever? It's the first one where he kind of feels too old for it too.
Yeah, I do know that.
It's just not very interesting. I think it's kind of boring. I think it's really boring.
Trash.
IMO. I would put in trash.
Best? Okay. Let's go ahead and put it in trash then.
With that.
Unless anybody in the chat is really against putting it in trash. I just don't know. I don't remember this film at all.
Exactly.
I kind of remember a crossbow lady, but I don't
There's
remember.
A reason.
All right, let's put it in trash. Trash is looking a little empty. We can put it there. All right. Octopussy.
Hey.
What?
Oh, wow.
Hey.
What?
This is the fucking clown one, right?
Like, I was gonna say, isn't this like the really camp one?
Yes. It's the really camp one.
She has the underwater base too, right?
It has one of the best Bond girls who's age appropriate, god damn it, which becomes a problem as it goes on. It's the reason why he left. It has incredibly fun, actually amazing fight scenes with like the jet flying through through that warehouse and them holding onto the plane at the end. Has great villains. It's just really, really silly. If you're okay with it being really, really silly, I think it like is not boring at all. It's fun for me the whole way through. It's just very silly.
I don't really
Kevin
remember
in the
it,
chat
so.
says Octopussy is basically an Indiana Jones adventure, which I think makes sense given the description. And I kind of remember I remember Octopussy herself.
Yes.
So yeah, okay. I can
know
see it going in A. I think it's a little weird to put it above some of the above.
Yeah, I feel like B.
Where do we put Goldfinger? Can we bring the tier list back up?
It's
Where do we put Goldfinger?
It's in the same tier.
Goldfinger is A.
I don't think
putting
it's
this above Russia with Love is.
I think it is better than From Russia with Love. From Russia with Love is kind of dull for most of the middle portion of it until you get to the train. I think Octopussy is a blast. I think it's fun. You just have to be okay with it being silly.
Does anybody here have any strong opinion on Octopussy not being A?
It's also cool. Like India, they utilize India really well as a setting.
All right, let's put it in A.
Yeah.
All right. Octopussy's in A. All right, okay. Now I think is a good time. We can take a quick break.
Yeah.
First, I want to talk about our second sponsor for this week's episode, Honey. The easy way to save when shopping on your iPhone or computer. I do a lot of shopping online, and finding deals can be pretty tricky. More often than not, there's a promo code that I know is out there and I could use, but I have no idea what it is or how to find it. But Honey does all that work for me. Honey is the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Here's how it works. When you check out on one of your favorite sites, the Honey button appears, and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons that apply, and if Honey finds one, bam, it's there. You'll watch the price drop. I've personally used it on a bunch of different sites for quite a few years now, and by this point, I'm pretty confident Honey saved me hundreds of dollars, if not more. So, yeah, it's also it's free. You can just get it. Also, Honey works on both your desktop and your iPhone. Just activate it on Safari on your phone and save on the go. If you don't already have Honey, you could be missing out. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid in supporting the show. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/DBC. That's joinhoney.com/DBC. All right. I think now is a good time because we have 20 minutes left and there's still a lot of films to get to.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and check out the sneak peek for James Bond versus John Wick.
Is not one to be taken lightly. Be careful, 007, and happy hunting.
Your concern is always touching, Q. Vodka martini, shaken, not stirred. What can I get you, mate? Drinks are on me.
I prefer to be alone.
Unfortunately, I wasn't asking, Baba Yaga. Now you can come with me, or we can do this here.
Killing isn't permitted on company grounds.
Lucky me.
All right. Bond versus Wick is coming out next week. Josh, you've been directing this one. How's it been going?
Oh, man. It's been so fun. I mean, for one thing, to get an excuse to rewatch all these movies has been a blast, obviously. No, but I mean, working with the team like Daito, Duvad, and Xander crushing it on this fight, like Luis and Billy also like really helping elevate everything. I love that opening scene. Like Liam wrote a fantastic opening scene because they get to do this fun espionage dance. Like they're both clearly aware of each other, and that was really fun to direct and play out. Like Stephen Kelly, that's the voice of James Bond, and Morno is playing John Wick, and they both did a fantastic job. And you also hear a familiar voice playing you. If anybody pick up on whose voice that is.
Yeah,
take a guess.
Take a guess in the chat. We should see who they think it is.
Did a great job.
Awesome. All right, so stay tuned for that September 4th.
Yes,
I know
September
dates.
4th.
September 4th for first and September 5th on YouTube.
A Labor Day present for all of you.
Yeah. All right, so we have we're getting close to time, and I know we want to talk about some of the Brosnan and Craig films, so let's just shotgun some of these real quick.
Yeah.
Never Say Never Again.
Worst.
Connery's back.
It's the worst one ever.
This one's trash. It's fucking boring.
It's a parody. It's The Room of Bond movies.
The first really weird legal battle in Bond's history, but all the rest of these are going to have legal issues.
It's a remake of
View to a Kill.
Thunderball.
This one has... what? Wait. Who am I thinking of? What's the villain?
Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken is the villain. He's
Grace
super
Jones.
fun.
Yeah.
Really?
Grace Jones is in it. Yeah,
Grace Jones is
they're
great.
great.
At all.
That's the only good parts of it.
Everything else about the movie
It's
sucks.
so bad.
It's boring.
Another
It's
one
boring.
that should be way more fun, and it just
I'd
isn't.
say
Yeah.
like I'd say like D. I'd say like D.
Yeah.
D. I'm
Maybe
okay
C
with
if you're
that.
feeling like very generous. but I'd
Well,
say D.
we could use a little bit more. Yeah,
We're gonna.
Yeah, D.
Yeah.
We'll fill out C with stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, the Dalton films, real quick. The Dalton films are great, in my opinion. Dalton is for me a competition for best Bond.
Yeah.
I think License to Kill is an S for me, and Living Daylights can be A or B. Does anybody have strong opinions on those?
I have a strong opinion on License to Kill specifically.
Oh yeah.
When I was growing up, like, and this is like, I think after watching GoldenEye, because I went and saw that with my dad, I was like, this movie's fucking sick. And my dad was like, well, there's so many Bond films. Let's start watching them. And he bought some big ass VHS box set. And I remember License to Kill at the time being one of, if not my favorite. I thought it was so fucking sick, but it also might have been the idea that you're 13 and you're like, a License to Kill? So cool. Right? But, like, I remember loving License to Kill. So that's about all the grounds I got on this one. It was sick as hell when I was 13.
That's your strong take. It was,
Nice.
so,
That's a strong
it was
take.
great
I
when I
think
was
it was-
13.
I think it was dope.
Dalton is the arguably darkest Bond. He's one of the more violent Bonds, and they needed that after more kind of a lot of more. So
I was an edge lord, so it worked.
Living
It did
Daylights.
I'd put
Living
Living
A
Daylights
in the chat for Living Daylights.
I'd put
I feel
Living
good with
Daylights
A.
as a B.
Oh.
I don't think it's super amazing. I think it's like a B. I reckon maybe an A.
Okay.
A if we're
I'm seeing some
compromising.
B in the chat as well. All right, let's put Living Daylights in B. Does anybody have any strong opinions about putting License to Kill in S, or should it be A?
I don't think it's an S. I
would
think
go
it's
A.
I would compromise with an A.
We do have some upcoming films that are probably. I know it's going to be an S. So all right, let's go ahead and put License to Kill in A. Yeah, we have 2 more slots in S. We know which ones are going in there. The next one, GoldenEye.
GoldenEye's an S. Yeah, for sure.
That's going in S.
Sure
Let's just put
is.
it in S.
I mean,
GoldenEye is so much fucking fun.
so
everything you need in a Bond movie is there. It's just amazing all around.
I think
It's just great.
Weirdly too, in like what is it? Is it like 97 or like
Yeah,
some? It's gotta be
95.
right around there.
95,
Yeah.
Like the concepts of like, I feel like watching it now, you'd be like, oh yeah, fucking satellites, what, right? But like in 95, satellites
back
are
then?
new shit. Like this
Yeah.
is like we're fighting on top of cutting edge technology that's like moving around and shit. It was so cool.
The
GoldenEye's
GoldenEye
great,
weapon
dude.
was really interesting. Yeah.
The
All the
damn,
villains are
everything's
cool.
sick.
Also,
Famke
villains are
Janssen
great.
is awesome.
GoldenEye.
The tank chase is one of my
Tank
favorite
chase!
scenes. It's
The-
so
where he
sick.
teleports,
Tank
it
chase
doesn't
is
make any
great.
sense. Literally doesn't make any sense.
The opening car.
Sean Bean.
It's not a chase.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
Sean Bean.
Like, the 2 cars in the beginning. Like
Him
he,
leaping. Yeah.
It's like the beginning of the movie, and he has a DB5, which is like a throwback because DB5's in like Thunderball and a bunch of other ones too.
Yeah.
And I remember he has that line when he's racing the girl in the red Ferrari. It's like a Testarossa or 355, doesn't matter. But and then he has a passenger, like he's taking a girl to work. I don't know what that's about.
It's his,
but anyway,
she's evaluating him.
Oh my
Right.
god!
So
Yes,
good.
we actually talk about. I think we talk about this in the episode, right? Because
We
she's
showed it.
evaluating him and telling him like, "Well, I hear you are uncontrollable or whatever," and he like completely
"Fuck
changes
yeah."
his failure to a success by just like instantly wooing her.
Right.
Yeah.
like he's
Right.
just like,
It's
well,
a literal superpower. We talk about how
yeah,
seduction is a
it's
superpower.
fucking wild.
and then the girl asks when the red Ferrari girl pulls up, she's like, "Who's that?" And he goes, "The next girl." And I just remember,
Yeah,
oh
it's
my god,
insane.
the best game!
all
And
right, all right.
leads
GoldenEye's
into-
an S.
It leads
Yeah.
into
Yep.
that fantastic Judi Dench scene with M. Like she
Yeah.
talks
Yeah,
about
yeah,
him
Judi
being a
Dench is
dinosaur
M,
and
dude.
all that stuff.
Misogynist dinosaur.
Brilliant.
Right,
ever.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Judi
Okay,
Dench is
so
awesome. I mean,
so
so
good.
GoldenEye
So good.
is S.
Yeah,
We have
easy.
3 other Brosnan films. So let's just go ahead and get these all in one go because we got 10 minutes. Tomorrow Never Dies, World Is
I
Not
think they're-
Enough,
I think
and
they're all
Die Another
C.
Day.
I think they're all
Ooh,
C.
all of them.
No.
Ooh, I'd go all B's.
Tomorrow
really?
Never Dies, I would say, is an A. Tomorrow Never Dies, that's the one with Michelle Yeoh, right? Is that how you
Michelle
pronounce
Yeoh.
it?
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle
is in-
Yeoh.
yes, I think
And
that
the-
one's pretty
The fact
okay.
that I watched that one not that long ago. Like I remember watching it when it came out, and then I watched it again probably in like 2018 or something like that. In just like I don't know, I felt it was like really not bold or like a good thing to do, but like the fact that it's what like late 90s and they have a really positive female Bond like girl who isn't
She
just
was
like a
gonna be in the
damsel in
next one
distress.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because she's
so
like a
cool
martial
'cause
arts.
She's
Well, it's Michelle Yeoh.
yeah,
Like she's one of the first, not the first Bond girls to like really kick ass, but kick ass next to him is pretty rare up until that point.
I wish they used more of her. I feel like she's underused.
Yeah, she's
That's my
underused.
problem.
Okay, I how about tomorrow? God, and what's the Tomorrow Never
Tomorrow
Dies?
Never Dies,
Is B. The other two
B.
is C.
I could see that.
Okay,
Die Another Day is so
Die
fun
Another-
though because
Die Another Day is like
Die
one of
Another
the
Day is really
funniest movies
fun.
ever.
It's got the most ridiculous ending.
Yes,
I think World Is Not
the
Enough.
fucking
is-
Invisible Thunderbird. What a weird one.
Yeah.
Die Another Day. I don't have any. That is the one. Yeah, Invisible Thunderbird. They're in the ice castle. Like
kite surfing on
Yeah.
the way.
Gustav,
Yeah,
the
it's
sword
fucking
fight is
wild.
amazing. The sword fight's one of the best fights in the series.
the CG when he's surfing on that wave.
it's
not
really
the
bad.
best.
Not great.
Strong opinions
Not
on
great.
World Is Not Enough. That's the Denise Richards one.
I think the
Christmas
problem with it is that I
Jones.
don't have a lot of
Christmas
strong
Jones.
feelings.
Yeah,
on it.
I think it's really the most forgettable one outside of her just being fine, but like
Yeah.
you're kind of questioning what she's doing there the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
Isn't
let's go ahead
she-
and bring up the tier list real quick.
isn't her name Christmas? Right?
Yeah.
Her name
Yeah,
is Christmas
her name
Jones.
is
Oh my
Dr.
god.
Christmas Jones.
The one thing I
Nuclear
remember from that
physicist.
movie
Final pun.
is the
Yeah.
final pun, which is
Christmas came early.
yeah, it's like, and I thought Christmas only comes once a year.
Oh,
It's like,
Christmas only comes once a year. Yeah.
Could you
All right.
imagine writing a whole movie just to get
to that point?
She did a nut
Okay.
joke.
They started
my
backwards.
God.
okay. So we're
Yeah.
let's go ahead and bring up the tier list and let's put these. I'm just gonna make a decision here. Tomorrow Never Dies is B.
Great.
World Is Not Enough. D.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
And then Die Another Day is C.
Okay, great.
Everybody cool with that? Sort of
Sounds good.
spreads them around.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the final Bond so
Just
far.
put it in GOAT.
Casino
Put it-
Royale is an
Yes.
S.
It's an S,
Straight
to
obviously.
Casino Royale. So okay, really
Perfect.
quick. I do want
No.
to say I think this is our final 4S. So we could even start the poll now. But I just want to check to see if anybody has any opinions. If anybody thinks Skyfall or No Time to Die should be an S. I don't think anybody's going to say Quantum of Solace or Spectre should be an S.
No more S's.
No.
I like Skyfall a lot.
Yeah,
I
me
don't.
too.
I don't think it's as good as Casino Royale though.
Yeah,
I think.
I agree.
Okay. All right.
Like,
So
yeah.
let's go ahead and bring up the poll for GOAT.
Skyfall is like a high A for me.
I agree. So the poll for GOAT, as we wrap this up, is going to be, if we bring back the poll, because I forgot which Connery film we put in there. I don't think we put a Connery film
You
in
only
there,
live
was it?
twice. You only live twice.
You only live twice. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's going to be You Only Live Twice,
My maybe hot take.
GoldenEye, Casino Royale, and what was the other one?
I love
Did
me.
we? No,
License to Kill?
No, I don't think we did put. You only. No, we didn't. We didn't. Spy Love Me under Majesty's
Oh, Majesty's Secret Service. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Majesty's
Casino
Secret
Royale.
Service, Spy Who Loved Me, GoldenEye, and Casino Royale. So let's go ahead and get that poll up. Those 4 films. Just go ahead and leave the tier list up for a little bit as we discuss this. All right.
Yeah.
Quantum of Solace.
I think it's overhated.
I've
Yeah,
never actually
I
seen
didn't
that
like
one.
it.
I skipped
This
it.
one, okay, this one got fucked over by the writer's strike. I
Yeah.
think the story is not great. The villain sucks. The main villain sucks.
Yeah, it was a real
Um,
letdown after Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Expectations
I do
were
think
high.
the final, like that burning building sequence, is like really intense.
It's cool.
I remember watching that in the theater and being like, "Holy shit, this is like the most intense Bond film I've
I
ever
think
seen."
the Bond girl is
Um,
awesome. I think she's
yeah.
awesome. I think they have a great rapport in it. And I like that it's not romantic too, which is which
That's
was
true.
kind
Yeah,
of
well,
unique.
because it's a follow up to Vesper.
Yeah.
B or C?
C to round out C, so that it's
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah,
Put
she's
in
fine.
C to round out C's.
yeah.
All right. Skyfall.
I'm a big fan of. I think Skyfall is the best looking Bond film. Like
It looks great.
the
Yeah.
color grading and shit in that. There's that whole thing where he's like going through that like sky bridge thing and like the
Yes,
greens and the
yes,
oranges and
and-
shit. And it's
yeah.
so it looks so good.
A cow.
man. That's-
Yeah.
Who doesn't
I
love
honestly,
Home
that's
Alone
my
for
biggest
kids?
takeaway.
Okay.
That's my biggest takeaway on Skyfall is I think it's the best looking Bond film.
Yeah.
Like this,
Everybody
whoever the
agree with
cinematographer
that.
Oh, yeah,
on
yeah.
that shit killed it.
It looks. Yeah, it is incredible. I think Skyfall is easy A.
Easy A.
Easy A.
Yeah.
Spectre. Okay.
B. I would do
Oh
at
my
least
God.
C, but it is.
I- I'm tempted to say C, but I also
It's
I don't
want to
watch that movie again.
It's boring, and it's really
Christoph Waltz
really
is
dumb.
Blofeld,
It's
right?
dumb. That's the big thing.
Like
yeah.
And
the
it's not,
casting's pretty good, although
they don't use him well. He's like kind of lame. He's doing all of this because his dad liked James Bond more than he just spent more time with him than he spent with Blofeld.
Not that
It's
big
like
a
no,
deal.
Blofeld is a
Yeah.
fucking he's a businessman who that's the point. He's making money. He doesn't. It's not personal for him.
trying to turn the other films into like this. Spectre was behind it all. Blofeld was behind it all the whole time. Is like lame.
Yeah.
Also,
like
he's James Bond's secret adoptive brother.
They
Austin Powers
literally
already did that.
Already did that as a joke in Austin
Which
Powers.
is so like it's interesting watching something like Quantum of Solace, which is
Whoa.
clearly really trying to separate itself from like all the parodies and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then they do that shit. Yeah. D. I'm fine with D.
It's and
I feel really bad about it because like there's I think there's a lot of cool. The Daniel Craig films just look awesome.
Yeah.
They do,
Like I
yeah.
think it's still a fun film to watch. But other
They try
than
to make-
that really stupid shit with Blofeld, the only thing that really like I remember is the opening sequence with all the octopus tentacles. It's really fucking weird.
they try to gaslight us that Madeline Swan is like Bond's true love, and they have like
I-
no chemistry. And
I really hate that they brought her back for No Time to Die.
Yeah,
Because
and it doubles down. It
Yeah,
doubles
I don't-
yeah.
on-
she's one of the few Bond girls to like go into the next film. Unlike Michelle Yeoh, who was supposed to and should have. I don't think it worked. Like she's fine as a character. I just don't think they work together. Like especially when you look at stuff like Vesper and Tracy.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
she's not
In
it.
comparison.
So No Time to Die. Who has seen it? This is
I've
the
seen it.
most recent one. I don't necessarily want to
I
like
haven't seen it.
spoil it. per
Right,
se,
yeah, we
I
don't have to
guess.
spoil it.
yeah.
Let's not spoil it.
I really I enjoyed it. I thought it was
You enjoyed
in this weird way, kind of a good mix of all the like it felt like a love letter to the franchise and to Daniel. So I thought it was really fun. I would give it an A.
Ooh, an A.
I mostly agree. I think I would give it a B. But as a send off to Daniel Craig's Bond, I think it is pretty good. I think the ending sort of misses the boat. I think the villain, the like real villain of it, is not super great. I think
I don't
the
think it's
way
great.
he sort of like starts, like his deal with Spectre, it starts off really interesting, and then it just sort of like takes a turn downward as the movie keeps going. But
For me, it was kind of a big mess. I would put it in
Yeah.
C, but we can compromise between C, B, and A, and put it in B. I
does
think
it
we
sound
could
good to everybody?
compromise with
Yeah.
a B. I think
alright,
there's a
let's
lot
do
in
B.
it that's dumb, but also it's like it's Bond, so it's like of course it's dumb, you know.
This is interesting because I was kind of wondering how the Craig films would line up, and out of all the films, out of all the like eras, he's the one who's sort of like all over the place. I
Yeah.
think that fits because
There's one in
he's
every
got
tier.
some of the best.
Yeah.
There's one in every tier.
He made one of
Yeah.
each.
Yeah,
Yeah,
except for trash.
for trash.
But yeah, I it's interesting because like I feel like if all the legal shit with like them trying to retain the rights, you know, and the publishing deals with MGM and whatnot, if that wasn't an issue, I feel like the Craig and also the writer's strike, a lot of bullshit, you know, happened. I mean, the writer's strike is obviously there's good stuff about it, but like a lot of problems happen from their perspective making these films, and I think the result was this like very messy situation, obviously, and also he was Bond for 16 years, which is sort of unheard of. If things had gone the way they planned, I imagine we would be talking about Idris Elba's third Bond movie right now.
Yeah, potentially.
But
Which I think
unfortunately,
would have been
because things,
sick.
which would have been sick, but unfortunately because of how things worked out, I don't think Idris Elba is ever going to be Bond,
Right. Yeah.
which sucks.
He said he didn't want to
mean,
be Bond too.
I
Well,
feel,
I mean,
sad.
he
I think
can't
it'd
at
be
this
great.
point. I think it'd be great. Maybe they could do like an older Bond with him. but it'd be-
I think that is a really good angle to take, because especially I think Casino Royale, which I am hoping takes our top slot here, if the poll goes my way, is like a perfect example of like how a Bond film like doesn't have to be super fucking high octane, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's almost better when the stakes are boiled down and they're more personal than they are like, oh shit, he's gonna nuke the planet. It's like,
Right.
nah, he's a bad
I
guy
mean-
who's gonna get bad, or like it's just like I don't know. There's like a lot more like personal dynamics and stuff, and like Casino Royale is just
There's so much character
so
too. Like
fucking good.
like the you know, I say this, I mean this seriously. Like the ball torture scene is actually unironically great because it shows how Bond deals with torture and like a genuinely horrifically painful torture.
Okay,
and the
so
way that
we're
he's
at
like
4.
laughing.
We got to
through
wrap
it
this
is
up. But I will say,
Awesome.
like, that's an interesting point looking at our S tier ones. Almost all of them are about Bond, like the humanization of Bond, except for GoldenEye, which is up there just because it's like the most fun.
It's definitely the sickest.
All right, so let's do this. Let's figure out we've got the poll going on right now in chat, but we also get a vote. So what is everybody here gonna? Let's go ahead. Let's bring that back up so that we have them up for us. So Liam, which one are you voting for?
Casino Royale. Casino Royale. It's my favorite Bond movie.
Casino Royale.
Casino Royale.
Josh.
Yep.
Me.
Casino Royale.
GoldenEye. No, Casino Royale. Yeah. All right. And then
that's not a bad choice.
From the chat is... I don't know if we have that screen capped. I can just read it off.
Casino Royale, 46%.
Casino Royale. It's a complete sweep, Casino Royale. Now, GoldenEye got 38% of the votes, which is pretty respectable next to that.
I think it's a great
Majesty Secret Service only got 3.
Yeah. That's bad.
Poor Lazenby.
I think a lot of people also have not seen Under Majesty's Secret Service.
But also, like, as we kind of mentioned, a lot of the best things about Majesty's Secret Service are in Casino Royale.
Yes.
So, like, you can just watch Casino Royale, honestly.
Yeah.
Same with the Dalton ones, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Real
that
quick, though.
was...
Real quick, before we close out, let me take 1 second to tell you about Tales of the Stinky Dragon. It's a podcast we do here at Rooster Teeth. Do you like D&D? If so, go check this shit out. There'll be a link in the description. And yeah, it's Barbara Dunkelman and a whole bunch of fun people, Chris Damaris, all these guys over there in our company make it, and it's been really great. On my side, we've made a few RTAAs out of it because that's my job these days of producing those. And it's a really fun show. It's got a lot of good shit. Go check out Tales of the Stinky Dragon. Anyways, now you can close it out, Ben.
Yes, listen to Tales from the Stinky Dragon, wherever you get your podcasts to find out if they're actually going to survive this next week. Probably not, but we'll see. All right. Thank you, guys. This is a lot of fun. This is Bond versus John Wick is coming out this next weekend. Check it out.
Monday.
Very excited for it. Thank you for everybody in chat. Awesome to see the members here. Also, if you're in the Discord, there is a channel in there for champions for members exclusively. So go ahead and check that out as well. If you aren't in the Discord and you are a member, a YouTube member for Death Battle, you can get into it. Just check I believe it's on our community page. Yeah, check that out. Thank you, everybody.
Goodbye.
We'll see you next week.
Is not one to be taken lightly. Be careful, 007. And happy hunting.
Your concern is always touching, Q. Vodka martini. Shaken, not stirred. What can I get you, mate? Drinks are on me.
I prefer to be alone.
Unfortunately, I wasn't asking, Baba Yaga. Now you can come with me, or we can do this here.
Killing isn't permitted on company grounds.
Lucky me.